view the chat. So I'm going to jump right in on our topic today. And so one of the questions that we have is, what is one of the biggest challenges that you face when you're managing your projects, multiple projects? And we're going to cheat and actually give you kind of the results of the survey that PMI did. So the biggest challenge you face when managing projects, and the second biggest is project prioritization. Shockingly, I'm sure you'll all be shocked if you're interested in this topic, that resource management remains the number one issue with project management, multiple projects, right? Making sure that you have the right resources, they're available, who to assign to what project, conflicting resources, between projects and things like that. There's also definitely major issues with challenges with managing projects in terms of visibility and reporting. One of, ECHO's really focuses is on that transparency, accountability, the ability to see the information across the organization, across projects and things like that. And then project financial management. So that jumps into change management and things like that. But again, for today's call, for today's webinar, we are going to be focusing specifically on project prioritization. For the most part today, we're going to be talking about project intake and prioritization. So if you think about that, we're talking mostly about when projects are initially identified, initially reviewed, business case, whatever that process looks like, and then moving into actually starting the delivery. But we'll be talking a little bit about project prioritization throughout the life of the project, not just that initial approval as well. So again, today's webinar focusing on project prioritization, intake process, etc. Which element of project prioritization is the most challenging? So another poll, again, done by PMI, Project Management Institute. Which element of project prioritization? So specifically today, we're going to be focusing on the top three. So one is aligning projects with the corporate strategy, with the goals, with KPIs, et cetera. Scoring the value of portfolio projects, whether it's return on investment, whether it's understanding kind of what part of the organization you're working on. Also modeling scenarios to optimize portfolio value. Saying no to some projects in the portfolio. So what we see with a lot of our clients is, by the time they get to that project approval step, maybe they had a business case, maybe they don't, maybe it's just a more streamlined, fast-tracked version. We have a really difficult time actually saying no. Versus taking on more projects, more works in progress than the organization can do. And then the other piece, and again, these are still topics that are very near and dear to my heart. So modeling scenarios and scenario planning, as well as tracking the value of portfolio projects and kind of long-term value as well as short-term value. Very interesting. But again, today our focus is going to be on how we select projects, how we identify projects, how we score them, and how we make sure that the projects that we're actually working on, that we're dedicating our resources and our time and our effort and everything towards, are the ones that are best aligned with our organization's strategic goals. Now, there's always a big question, is definitely with Straline, as we've been rolling it out, we're finding more and more organizations that really struggle with articulating these goals. So we'll be talking just a little bit about goal articulation as well today.